Negotiating an acceptance letter and bringing your short sale to a successful close. At some point, you're going to talk directly with an actual decision maker, an actual loss mitigator, someone who's actually has some decision-making capability. And just remember when you do a few things about a loss mitigator. We've already talked about this a little bit. But remember, first of all, that the loss mitigator is a person. According to averages, I ever heard that he or she may have as many as 200 plus files to handle. That's less than an hour a file over a month's period of time for that person to spend on every single file. And you're talking about 40 plus sheets of paper. They have to do numerous calculations. They have incredible demands put on them. Always be respectful of this. Leave happy, cheerful messages, even if it is the 15th unreturned message. Answer their calls in a happy voice. Do everything you can to develop rapport with these people. Avoid blaming them or their company for your situation, even if their company has been predatory or otherwise contributed to your woes. At some point before you get a letter of an acceptance, but after you submit the short sale packet, you'll get a call, most likely from a loss mitigation agent or someone working in that department and on your file. The following objections could come up. There's several objections about value that could come up. Number one, you could get a question like, why is this offer so low? Or what happened with the value in the last 2 years since you purchased it for it to drop X percent? And one of my answers might be something like this. You need, and in general, what I'm trying to get at is that you need an excuse in your mind for an offer. Just a general excuse about value. Why is the value so low, okay? But it could go something like this. The market has been down because of X. It could be mortgage fraud, inflated prices in your area, the industry has moved away, developments have failed, a flood of new houses, and builder discounts mean no one wants to buy our old house in this new subdivision. You could cite recent news articles if you kind of thought this out, or if you have them on hand. You could even offer to fax the evidence to them. It's always good to have a piece of paper that you say, I'm looking at this now. Let me fax it to you. It not only shows that you're for real and you know what you're talking about, but also if you do fax it to them, they can put it in a file, and when they send it to the final investor for final acceptance, that can kind of help out and legitimize the offer. I've seen some loss mitigators even request that you have your realtor include a special explanation letter for the file. This is a HUD requirement if your offer is below a certain minimum percentage of a recent origination appraisal. Origination appraisal as the appraisal that was used when you first got your loan. Another similar question about value, and it's a little harder to deal with, is they may say something like, our valuation, our BPO came in as your house being worth $150,000 and your offer is $120,000. We can't accept this. Find a new buyer or have the current buyer increase his offer to $145,000. Okay? So your answer could be something like this. Did the valuer take into consideration? And then you go back to the same reason that you just that I mentioned in the last thing. It could be, these factors: the work needed on the house, the contractor's estimate, or you could mention, the inspection showed damage that wasn't readily available. It wasn't easy to see for the broker's price opinion agent. The fact that no one wants to live here because there are 30 child predators in 1 block radius, or you could say the fact that the city's insane point of sale escrow requirements have made it impossible for the average buyer to get a loan and acquire this property. Or you could cite the fact that there are X properties in this market in this zip code alone. Or you could say the fact that the prices in this market are severely declining. Or you could say my broker, who is knowledgeable and a local agent, did a broker's price opinion valuing this at X amount, that supports your offer. Did I send that to you? Or have you considered that I had a contractor out here who gave me a written bid for $50,000 of work to put this in marketable shape? You could cite any of these factors to this agent, just let them know, and ask them whether the valuation that they have reflects these factors that you talked about. If possible, you want to have thought of, like I said, these factors that affect value, and be able to name them. And then if you have a piece of paper, it's even better, like I said, fax it in. Now, you could also get some questions regarding fees on the HUD-1 settlement statement. Ultimately, hopefully you watched the DVD on how to do a HUD-1 settlement statement. Even if you're not going to do a HUD-1 settlement statement yourself, you want to understand the importance of doing it right. And you want to be able to tell your title person, oh, you need to increase the fees here. Not all title companies understand the importance of some of the strategies that I use. And so you need to be able to educate your title person, hey, you need to increase your fees, you need to do such and such with the fees in order to make sure that we don't have problems when we go to close. You're going to get questions, though, about fees in the HUD from a loss mitigation agent. I'm going to go through a few of the things that might come up. You might get told the commission is too much. You put too much commission on the HUD. And if you're working with a realtor and they're rebating back your commission, if the bank cuts the commission of your realtor, then what you make is as a contractual arrangement goes down as well. So one thing that I always say when my commission is cut is, or they're trying to cut my commission, I might tell them something like this: wow, that's a standard commission for this area. What are you suggesting? And they might say, like, well, we want you to reduce that 7% commission to a total of 6%. You could say something like, I know that if I, as the seller, am not allowed to pay it, the full agent's commission, the agent will be forced to make it a buyer expense. And the buyer won't like it at all. He may even lower his offer to compensate because he's agreed that the agent will be paid a full commission. Would you rather just keep the commission the same, or would it be better to cut it but lower the offer by that much? It sounds like the same to me either way, because you're going to get the same net amount to you as a payoff. Does that make sense? Always, and you notice I phrase this as an either or. Which would be better for you? You might want to understand that answer a little bit more. Another question I've been asked is, why are the taxes so much? Why are the back taxes so much? And if they have questions about that, that's something that you'd want to just tell them, I think that's what's owed. Would you like me to verify that with the county? Or verify that with my title agent? I'll have them call you. You would answer it that way. Even if you know the expenses were temporarily increased a little bit in the preliminary HUD, just to make sure that there's a bit of a space for error, just let them know that you'll check back with them. They may ask why the escrow fee or any other fee is so much. And you would just say, this pricing is a typical amount in this area. Why don't I contact the title company about this and see what we can do? I'll call you back or have the title agent call you to explain it. And if you doubled all the fees in the HUD like you should, then the title company will be able to just cut the fee that they don't like, cut it in half to the normal amount. And probably there'll be other fees that are still big enough to cover any mistakes that happen along the way, and make sure that everybody gets paid and there's no last minute things that screw up the closing and keep you from being able to have enough money to close and pay everything off. Oftentimes they'll say something like, we don't allow X regarding fees on the HUD. It may be that in the contract you're required to pay for a buyer's home warranty, which is typically like $600 or something like that. And if they say they won't pay for home warranties, just tell them you call them back, we'll check with the buyer, tell them the buyer's really expecting to have a home warranty, but let's see what we can do to come together and see if the buyer will take it off. Usually the buyer will. Home warranties aren't that big for most people. They're just kind of an extra item, a bonus. If you put a processing fee, oftentimes they'll note that. I mean, a lot of banks just won't allow processing fees to be paid out of the proceeds. They're just trained to look for that, and then they'll cut them. Oftentimes they won't, though. You will want to try and see if you can keep it on, but maybe cut a little bit, because it could be several $1,000s that you put it on. You would say something like, I understand you don't like processing fees. Can you make an exception this time? If they say no, say, well, let me see what I can do to get this eliminated. I know the real estate company puts extra work. It takes a lot of extra risk when you have a short sale like this and end up having to spend extra overhead on processing. Short sales take a lot of extra calls from a normal transaction. So it's fair, that there should be a processing fee, right? So just let the bank know this, and then call them back and say, is it all right if we cut it in half? The realtor really thinks that we should get this. And if not, you might have to take it off, but you tried. And that processing fee, if it's paid to the broker or something, they can rebate back to you too. So that's extra money, so you can get some of that there. They might say, we don't allow seller to pay buyer's closing costs. Also, it's called seller concessions. It's very often done for houses priced under $300,000, purchased with FHA loans. And if the short sale is being done on an FHA-backed loan. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Concessions, also called seller-paid closing costs for the buyer, they will not be allowed under any circumstance. You just will not be able to do any concessions for a short sale that's on an FHA-backed loan. But what you would say if that's not the case, never take them telling you that you can't do something as a for sure. Try to negotiate a little bit. And I would probably say something like this if they say we can't have seller concessions. Because number one, seller concessions are important a lot of times for a buyer to purchase your property. So you want to try to keep these in. It may be the only thing allowing your property to be sold at a good price. I can appreciate that you want to save money by limiting, this money coming out of the sellers of our proceeds here. However, can you understand that even if the buyer had the cash to pay his own expenses for this closing, even if he had that cash, he would probably just lower his offer by the amount you're cutting out, and City Financial, or the bank you're working with, would net the same amount as they are now. I can tell you that the buyer actually needs the concessions. So if we can't do concessions, then I know I can get you an offer about $60,000 less by a more qualified buyer. Is that what you would like, or would you prefer that we just keep these concessions in and work with this current buyer to get this closed for you? Just let him know, hey, this buyer needs that. If he doesn't get it, he'll either lower the price by the amount of those concessions, or he'll have to walk away completely, not sure which. And if he does, we'll probably have to accept the next lower offer, which is from a greedy investor who has cash. So just let him know that. Give him that option. If they tell you that you have to do something, give them an option of two things, and try to get them to work with you a little bit. Never put it on yourself as you are the person making the decision. Always put it off on somebody else. That way you can maintain your relationship to the person you're talking to, and you sound real reasonable instead of being the unreasonable person that's creating these difficulties. But what if you don't know what to say when you get a call? If you get tongue-tied easily, or you don't have a ready answer, at least say something like, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but let me have my agent call you. You can always have your agent call, or a title professional call, or maybe just get your thoughts a little bit collected and then call back. You could say something like, I know the offer we're working with is a good offer. However, I understand your concern about X. It could be like the value, the fees on the HUD, etc. One of the things we talked about. So why don't I have my agent call you and explain that better, or my title agent call you and explain the fees better, or my inspector call you and explain why it needs so much work. Also, you can sometimes send an email or fax to that person. If you're not real good on the phone, an email or fax is sometimes actually easier to do. And you can also include stuff like a newspaper article to justify the prices are low, or an inspection report, whatever it is that justifies what you're talking about regarding the topic at hand that you're negotiating. Another thing to think about is that if the bank is asking for, or even supposedly requiring, a specific concession regarding anything that you're dealing with, always insist, like if you're talking on the phone, that you have to run this by X person. Could be your spouse, could be your attorney, could be your real estate agent, your title agent, and let them know that you don't think they're going to like this concession. They're probably not going to recommend you do it, but you're going to see what you can do to make this happen. If you put it on someone else, then you can maintain the relationship with the person you're talking to without seeming like you're being difficult, but still hopefully come back with something that in their mind might be difficult, but you're still blaming it on them, that they're putting this on you and keeping you from coming to a good deal and a good agreement.